Once upon a time, 3 writers helped crack open the indie publishing world. Then they rode into the sunset, building bigger stories, taking bigger swings, and learning what actually lasts when the noise dies down. Now the band is back together, older, sharper, and uninterested in shortcuts. This is the Smarter Artist Show with Sean Platt, Johnny B. Trunt, and David W. Wright. It's the same 3 voices you know talking about the craft and commerce of storytelling, from the work they're creating to the TV shows and movies they can't stop thinking about. Shop talk for artists playing the long game in a creative world that never slows down. If you've been here since the early days, welcome back. If you're new, pull up a chair. You're listening to the Smarter Artist Show. Let's get into it.
I'm excited. I know it looks it.
I'm ready for Dave's pure, undiluted joy now.
This is my resting joy face. No, today is the first quote-unquote useful episode.
Thanks for putting quotes around
of
that
the
shit.
Smarter Artist Show. This is what we've been working for.
It is very helpful. It does help with expectations, Johnny. So I popped onto Riverside a beat before you did, and Dave looked like this. And I said, "Oh, you're excited?"
But no,
this is
he
your
was
show. This is the day
masturbating.
today, and he was.
That is my face.
that is the face. So he says, well, I know that, today is like, it's going to be good. And it's like when I was, used to be on the radio and I'd always get nervous before starting because now I actually care.
Can we unpack
I'm
why?
glad that
Because
now
so
you
first-
actually care.
No, okay.
No, not that I care. I'm just trying.
Oh, that's the first step to failing. So, no, you didn't.
I mean, I always cared.
So just
in a
behind
way.
the scenes here, so Dave sends
You
around a
cared-ish.
very comprehensive list of or not like an outline basically. And it starts off with saying, I'm so excited, right? Like that was, he wanted to make sure. No, it just, it's
And I just
it's
can't
all
hide
about
it.
it. And yeah,
I'm about to lose control.
and then you say it again. And then Sean, you just said he was excited. And Dave, you're repeating that you're excited. I want to know why? Like, because I mean, it can't just be that the show is quote useful. Let me put some more quotes around that. But it's got to be something else. Like, why? I don't know that I've ever seen you excited about anything work related other than like a really cool beheading or something. Wait a minute, is that the answer?
Heading that we had at the company where we just, yes, we're having a beheading live. No, it's just the show has a structure, and I'm excited because Sean kind of gently pushed and prodded me towards being excited for this.
I shoved you with like a tractor, an emotional tractor. I didn't really actually have a tractor.
Well, what is it exactly that you're doing here, Sean?
Well, can this be my something cool?
It could be your something.
Okay,
cool.
I'll double this as my something cool. So my something cool is this show. Well, Johnny's done with it.
Our first beheading.
Johnny's like, if it's good, I'm out of here. I'm sure that was technical difficulties. He'll be right back in. This today's show is actually my something cool because we've been planning this for like 2 months. We've delayed it for a month, and now we're finally doing it. And it's not that the show is finally going to be good. Like I do love saying that. I think it's fun, but it's that I really wanted, when we were returning, I wanted to return with some purpose. And when we did, at first we were just like the purpose enough was just us getting going and feeling comfortable doing it again and being on. But I really want to have an impact on the industry. I think it's an interesting time. I think there's a lot to say. Hey, Johnny's back.
I don't know what happened there. I think my internet connection said, "Oh, we're going to talk about Dave's excitement. I'm out of here."
Well, you were taking off your sweatshirt.
That was just a coincidence. I don't know what happened there.
Censorship.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of things. It's the fact that I do have a lot to say. I think we have a lot to say, and I think that the 3 of us come at art and commerce from slightly different yet overlapping places. We've been in business and collaboration for a long time now. I mean, in this 14 years, which in indie publishing years is like, I don't know, a century. It's a long, long time. And so I've had a lot of these ideas percolating for a long, long time, and I've just been like, I clearly have too much on my plate, and so this was something that I wanted to pass off to Dave, and Dave,
It's like Grandpa's watch.
he's a reluctant hero. He's like, I don't want to go to Alderaan, and like we have to his family has to be killed by stormtroopers before he agrees to go. So that's where we are now. His family has been slaughtered by stormtroopers, and he's
Wait, what?
Is that why he's excited?
Wow.
So the Dave is the reluctant hero, but there's we'll talk more about the actual structure and kind of what the smart artist method is and what it means a little bit later. But what I'm excited about is that I have seen a lot from Dave in the last month as we have prepared to make this transition, and I feel like it's really transferable because like in short, we want to teach people to think not in terms of publishing, but in terms of IP, because it means that the time you spend creating the art that you want to develop is worth more for every hour that you put into it. And that's not native thinking for Dave. So I'm trying to teach.
I think when you first said IP, I was like, what does Internet Protocol have to do with any of this?
No, I think Sean was referencing your frequent story tropes when he said IP.
I have to pee.
Dave has never.
Wait, this isn't about pee? Oh, forget it. I don't
This is a true fact for those of you who don't know this. Dave has never written a story without a piss scene.
Yes,
And
I have.
No,
Jesus Christ.
not until it was pointed out. A reader pointed this out one time, and I'm like, that can't be true. And so I'm like, I've been his collaborator, and I've never picked up on this. So this can't be true. And I could not find anything written before like maybe 2020-ish that didn't have a scene where somebody goes to the bathroom.
He's an artist. That was his piss era.
I would just like to point out, do you ever see somebody that like they happen to notice like the worst of everything? Like
you?
No. I'm talking about like they look at something like a pissing. Maybe this is saying more about the reader, that they're the ones that notice that's all they notice, and they're tracking it, and they got charts and shit. Maybe that's
like a murder board.
Got the problem. Not
I'm just
me.
saying that like somebody clearly loves Dave as a writer, and they've read all of his books.
Clearly in the piss.
And they said, you know what, I really like the stories that you guys write together, but I couldn't help notice after reading 30 of them that every single one involves a scene with somebody going to the bathroom. And Dave's like, what? People go to the bathroom in real life. And like he's defending this. And I'm like, yes, but you organize your entire life around where the bathrooms are located. And
no. Well, I have a very boring reason for this, and it'll take away all the fun. But if you notice, so many of our scenes, especially early on, I've broken away from this trope as I've learned to write. A scene would end with somebody going to sleep or passing out or whatever. So many times the next scene would be them waking up. And what is the first thing you do when you wake up? You piss. So it's not describing the piss scene.
You know, guys, I was really wrong about this whole schedule thing. I mean, we're nailing it. And the whole show getting better thing.
Johnny, do you have something cool?
Bone Tomahawk. Awesome.
Oh, I saw Bone Tomahawk. That was great.
Yeah, I was told to go in cold. So I don't know if I want to make that same recommendation, but I don't think it really matters.
What is Bone Tomahawk?
It's Bone Hanukkah.
Stripper name.
Bone Tomahawk. It's a film. It stars Kurt Russell, and it's a period piece about the 1800s, and some like settlers from this little town are abducted by this super like this basically clan of of cannibals who don't even have language and they live like up in a cave or something, and it's super brutal. It's just
Oh, is it set in Florida?
yeah, it's a modern day Florida tale.
I
Actually, it's a
that
day after
town.
tomorrow Florida tale. This is in the future when people
It's
learn
like
to
a
grunt.
horror Western, Dave. I think you'd be really into
Yeah,
it.
horror Western. That's very apt. It also stars the guy who played Jack from Lost.
Yeah, I saw it like I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's been a while. But I same as you, Johnny. I went into it cold. I had no idea what it was, and I don't remember who recommended it, but somebody recommended it, and I loved it. I thought it was really surprising and really low budget too. I think I read how low the budget was, but I don't remember
It
what.
certainly didn't come across as a low budget movie at all, and it's it's haunting. Like the savagery of the tribe and the mystery surrounding them is so sinister that it feels like it should be supernatural, but it's, I mean, this isn't a spoiler. It's not supernatural. They're just people, but there's something about it
Yeah.
that's just so terrifying about this. I mean, some of the, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's some really sick shit that they do.
And the
All right.
color, the color palette is sinister too.
Yeah, they have like
I wonder
these
if they're-
this like jewelry in their throats because they don't even have language, and so they make these really bestial howls that's really haunting. It's disturbing.
Dave, you will like
You
it.
yeah, you would.
Well, it reminds me of the game Red Dead Redemption 2, which came out like 10 years ago or so. There's a whole side story where it slowly builds up to it where you just like notice corpses and stuff, and you don't know. And Red Dead Redemption is not a supernatural game by any means. It's not a horror game, but there are elements of weirdness to it which are really cool. And eventually you find out like there's these people that are just like a cannibal tribe that are just taking people and stringing them up and shit, and it's really cool because it's surprising. It's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, well, my something cool is a movie called Dust Bunny. It is it
This
it's
is a
made by Brian
documentary
Fuller.
about your house, your basement.
Yeah, your mom's house.
Oh no. My mom's would be Dust Monster. There's no bunnies there.
Well, funny you should say that because it has to do with a monster.
Mhm.
It's by Brian Fuller from Pushing Daisies.
Oh, I like Brian Fuller.
It's essentially what if the movie The Professional was taken by Wes Anderson and it turned into a movie that involved a monster under a little girl's bed, and she hires a
This sounds
hitman.
amazing.
She hires a hitman to kill it, and it's way more complicated than that. But
That's
also
kind
not.
of one hell of a pitch, though.
Yeah, it's very something cool.
Where can I see this?
You can see it on HBO right now. Now,
Is it new?
yeah. I mean, it just came to HBO. I think it might have come out last year. I don't know. I heard nothing about this movie in the theater. It's got Mads Mikkelsen in it. It's got Sigourney Weaver. It's got a
wow.
very weird cast. It is so. It's a little bit too Wes Anderson. Like I would have enjoyed it if it was toned down a little bit.
What do you mean? You mean like the visual
Quirky.
aesthetic?
And is it
Quirky,
literally Wes
colorful.
Anderson? Because I thought you were using that as a comparison. It's not a literal Wes Anderson movie, is it?
No, it's not
Okay.
Wes Anderson. It's just aping his style.
But do you mean his style in character and narrative, or his style in like visual aesthetic?
All of the above.
Oh wow, okay.
The cuts, the everything. It's very creative. I think I don't know. I wanted it to be a little more dramatic. It was dramatic, and I probably have to watch it twice because I had expectations going in because The Professional was such an awesome movie, and I love movies with monsters and like childhood trauma and all of this, and this has all of that. And actually, there was a scene that I thought they were going to veer very close to a thing that we have in progress, and I was like,
was that just nothing but piss?
no, a movie script that we've been shopping, and I was like, oh my god, if they fucking do that, I'm gonna just fucking scream. But they didn't do that. I was so close, and I was like, no. So yes, I have many mixed feeling. Overall, I liked it. I have to watch it a second time, I think. I think I don't like quirky. I like Wes Anderson, like some of his movies. Others, I'm just like it's pretentious.
Yeah,
So,
I haven't enjoyed Wes in a while.
Yeah,
I used to
not a
really
fan
like
of Wes Anderson usually.
Yeah. Um, uh, I used to love his stuff, but the last couple of things I've seen are just I feel like they're so style over substance, and just it's almost like a parody of Wes Anderson at this point. Like I don't know.
You know, the problem I have with
I
Wes
don't connect
Anderson
with
is
it.
there was, I think this was a joke in like Family Guy or something, and somebody gets like intelligence. I don't remember what this is, and he's like, "Oh, I finally understand Aaron Sorkin's Sports Night. It's a comedy that's too good to be funny." And like that's how I feel about Wes Anderson. I'm like, I know it's supposed to be funny. People will list those movies like The Darjeeling Limited or The Royal Tenenbaums as like these, or Life Aquatic, as like these amazingly hilarious movies, and I watch them. I'm just like, be funnier. I don't get it.
I would like to
loved I forget what it was called, but the stop motion one with the dogs I thought was really fun.
I think it's
Like,
called Isle of Dogs.
Yes, that's right. I really enjoyed that, but his live action stuff, it's been a while for me.
I mean, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, right? I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, he is an artist, absolutely.
Somebody that annoys me on the opposite end of the spectrum is Eli Roth. Like the extreme horror. Sometimes I like him, other times I don't. It really matters what the story is. But I would like to see Wes Anderson and Eli Roth combine to make a movie because it might hit right in the middle of what I like.
I've never enjoyed Eli Roth.
I thought you were going to say Elon Musk.
No, I did enjoy Eli Roth in Inglourious Bastards, but never as a director.
The Bear Jew.
Yes.
So what's your something cool, Sean?
This show, I told you, this show today, right now, the fact that we are the Smarter Artist Method is my something cool.
Now, did you want me to talk about it, or do you want to talk about like what all it's going to have? And
tell me about it, because I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah, and for those of you listening, John, that wasn't a joke. Johnny actually doesn't know, he hasn't been really a part of this part of it, and I actually think that that's a big benefit because there should be contrast here, and in a lot of ways Johnny is kind of like the fill-in for the average listener.
Well, if we're setting the stage too, let me add to that you said we think in terms of IP. You, Dave, the studio, I actually don't think in terms of IP. And I think that's okay because that's not where my focus is. Like I'm a novelist. I like writing books. So this should be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I think it's a nice contrast too, because like in the earlier iterations of this show, Dave was kind of like the everyman who like stood in, for the average listener. And, Johnny and I were off doing like crazy things. And now that's changed a little bit. Johnny has become more like Dave. and Dave is now learning more parts of the business, and that's what we're doing. So simultaneously, I'm trying to like nurture this so that we're revitalizing our own IP, mine and Dave specifically, and running the Smarter Artist as an IP engine. And so the audience can kind of learn along with us and learn along with Dave. And hopefully that's very instructive.
Learn along with Dave. It's like picture pages.
So,
it is a weird reversal because you're right. It used to be me and you doing all the company stuff. Now I'm not even in the company. So like that's, I don't know. I guess let's find out what happens. Should be interesting to watch Dave try to be the new me.
I feel like the loving wife that's been convinced that, opening our marriage would be good for both of us.
It's healthy. It's all about communication. But I think it's great because it's I mean, Johnny's proof that it's not going to be for everyone, but it doesn't need to be for everyone. But my hope, or better than a hope, my goal, my target here is that the people that this does resonate with, it fundamentally changes their creative life. They have more fun making the things that they're making. They have more, connections, natural connective tissue between all the things that they're doing, and they make substantially more money because, especially on the client side, we've actually been slow to implement a lot of this internally, just because we have 14 years of like I don't know, like layers of good things, but also layers of mistakes on top of mistakes. And so there's a lot of untangling that we have to do. But when I've been able to do this from a fresher slate with clients, I mean, we're talking 100% success rate and kind of dramatic results. And so that's really fun to be able to pass this off, because there are going to be a lot of people listening to this right now who are in a position where they can make immediate changes to not just their bottom line, which I do think is important, but I mean, I think we all know me well enough to know I've never been as bottom line focused. I'm more idea focused and legacy focused, and what is the big long term thing that we're building. And playing the IP game is all about long term thinking.
The IP game.
Right, I'm
coming
resisting
soon.
the urge to say again that Dave's always been playing the IP game.
Dave, how long?
I'm doing it right
will
now.
it be until you write a subject line that is something with IP freely in it?
Why do I feel like this is going to haunt me like Quentin Tarantino in Feet? Wouldn't it be funny if Quentin Tarantino wasn't even into Feet and it just got, he's like, oh my God, I do focus on Feet.
Oh, I bet you, yes, I bet you, like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which spent a long time on wow, what's
Feet.
the actress's
Margaret
name?
Qualley?
Yes, Margot Qualley's Feet. I bet you he's just trolling us at this point. He was like, I don't even like Feet, but here we go, 10 minutes of Feet.
Yeah, good times.
10 minutes of Feet.
Okay, so I'm just going to run over it real quick, then we can break it down what it is. So the Smarter Artist Method. It's around the book first, and Sean will explain what the book is in a moment. But this is going to be free for you, always free. And it anchors the entire brand of what we're doing. It's an entry point for all of our new readers. And then, and this is the kind of part that I was excited about, like genuinely excited, even though it's a lot of work. The Smarter Artist Dispatch. It's a big ass email that talks about something in a more in-depth way. Like a lot of time, our newsletter so far has been just like, you know, maybe some jokes or a show rundown. It's real short. It's real quick. Because Daddy ain't got time to play all those games. But now I have
Wait,
to.
wait.
Oh, can we pause at that? That was so
I know.
casual.
That's my new punchline.
Dude, please make that a soundbite. Please. I love too that there was a moment where Johnny and I are both like, we're not letting that go.
You know what it's like? It's like when somebody shows up wearing a beret. You're like, if you walked in with that beret from the moment we met you, we wouldn't even question it. But like, you said, that stuck out. It was like, did Dave just say daddy? For himself,
Or a cowboy hat. What if I just have a cowboy hat that's so big
okay,
it goes off
so
the
Daddy
screen?
ain't got time to play. Keep going.
All right, so we have the Smarter Artist Dispatch, which is going to be our email that goes out to everybody, and it's going to actually like discuss useful things and have tips that people can use. It's something, you know, we'll still have our, you know, weird ass humor, as is evidenced by everything that's happened so far today. And then we have one epic content post, a weekly 2,000 to 3,000 words. Now, the length is a little fucking long for me, but this was Sean's idea. So
well, yeah. To be fair, we haven't even hit half that length on the first ones, but it's fine because I think that the length is a target because we want to say enough for it to be meaty. But what you delivered, you know, I mean, we had many iterations back and forth until we were like, okay, this is good enough. And I think we ended up at like 1,200 words, but there's density there, and there's still like jokes, so it's very readable. But I really wanted high value. We've also completely redesigned the website, smartartist.net. If you're not already on the list, use smarterartist.net/dispatch, and you can get the Smarter Artist Method. So if it wasn't clear, it's a very short read. It's, I think, like, I don't know, it's less than 15,000 words. It's like maybe 13,000 words. The book.
Not the blog post.
Yeah, no, the book. And it was born because Dave and I did a 1-hour interview, and then that interview became the book. And it was just basically like, look, here's how you think about IP. Here's how you think in terms of like not publishing one book after another and getting off the hamster wheel. Because I think that most people listening to this, if you're a professional writer, if you have been writing and publishing for any period of time, you're probably exhausted. Like, it doesn't matter if you haven't been as successful as you want, or you've been uber successful and you make tons of money with every release. You're
So
exhausted
successful that you're Ubering on the side.
because it is a relentless game in publishing. And I will tell the origin story. Like, this was for me where I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this. This was several years ago, and we had gone all in on KU essentially, and we had converted a bunch of our stuff, even stuff that really should have been wide. Everything was going to KU.
That's Kindle Unlimited.
That's Kindle Unlimited. Thank you, Dave.
I actually love that you said that, because it means that is no longer a foregone conclusion.
So we had our optimization guy, Danny, who was running all of our ads and kind of helping us navigate what would be profitable and what wouldn't be profitable. And he determined that this one series that we wanted to start should actually be, instead of us just putting out the one standalone thriller that we wanted or creating it as a series, he said, essentially, you need to create all 6 books first, write all 6 books at one time, and then put them out as a box set for 99 cents. And every single part of me rejected that. I think that is just...
You like that idea, Johnny?
No, I fucking hate that idea. I was gonna throw up if Sean said, yeah, and we did it.
Well, no, we didn't do it. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the box set strategy. In fact, right now we're having a lot of success with a box set strategy and putting a lot of other things that we already have into box sets and leveraging KU to the best of our ability. But we still need to see KU as one shelf in one store and not the entire business model. And, you know, at the time that Danny had said this, it kind of was our entire business model. And then last year, for like maybe a year and a half or so, it also became our entire business model. And that's wrong. Like, it's fundamentally wrong. If you're in the IP business, you need to be thinking not just wide, but expansive. How can we interpret all of these things differently? And so that was kind of a catalyst moment that got us into thinking in terms of IP and thinking, how can we leverage this? How can we start shopping things to film and television? And that got off to, like a good start and then a rocky start, because we crashed into the strikes. And now we're back in that game, but now we're thinking about it differently. And also, I spent a little more than a year just deep in the client space and seeing how people could leverage their IP in new and interesting ways. And so when it was time to come back to this show and we're talking to this audience, and I feel like there's this deep reservoir of untapped potential that our audience they're not really focused on this. And if they change their focus a little bit, then they're going to get better results, more dramatic results in less time. And I want to see that. I want to see us have that kind of impact again. I want to see people being successful as artists. And I hate the starving artist mentality. I just think it's unnecessary. And I think that there's a lot of fear right now because of AI and because competition is just redonkulous in a way that it wasn't when we started all those years ago. It was a lot easier to get noticed. And then it just became pay to play and ads, and it was easy to get out marketed. And, if you can outthink it, if you are willing to just fundamentally approach your creativity differently. So that's kind of the origin story.
And one of the things we're going to do along the way is, the epic blog posts and the podcasts. We have an insane amount of nonfiction books that we've either written and didn't release, or we've written and I think we never really promoted. And there's very useful information in those, and we have a lot of people in our community and that work with us at Sterling and Stone. They have such useful information that you don't even realize until you're like, oh wow, that's fucking awesome. So we're going to tap into that. We're going to tap into a lot of that to really help in the spaces that like I wish when I was coming up that I had some of these resources. And funnily enough, like I've actually had access to some of these resources and barely even realized it for the
All
past
of
several
these
years.
resources, Dave. You would have access to all of these resources. Yeah. So Dave's absolutely right. We have a wealth of talent in the company, and a whole new wave. We're bringing, many new people have joined the company in a cohort right now, and there is like an amazing amount of talent, and we just need to tap into that talent and share the resources, share the love, and the amount of published material that we already have out there is actually almost equivalent to the amount of unpublished content. So Bonnie and I, for example, have a series called the Storyteller's Toolkit that we wrote many years ago and never published. And there are 9 books just finished and sitting there, all about like premise and building characters and world building and
And we
really.
didn't publish it at the time. Is that because we weren't doing the podcast and we were like busy with the Hollywood scripts and shit?
Yeah, we weren't doing a podcast, and we had just kind of determined that it was better to focus on fiction, and we would release the nonfiction at some point in the foreseeable future, but it never happened, and it was clearly never going to happen under the I don't know, under the trajectory that we were on. And now that we're, back and we're doing the show, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Bonnie is the most incredible editor I've ever worked with. Her sense of structure and character and place. I've learned more working with her than anyone else I've ever worked with. Like I'm very fortunate to have helped her to shape my voice over the last several years. And writing these books was a joy, but then they just sat there collecting dust. So we're excited to be putting some of this content out and doing shows that are specifically geared towards the different books that we have in the pipeline.
So in the interest of keeping this on somewhat of a target of less than 4 hours, what is the elevator pitch for Smarter Artists? What is the book about? What is, yeah.
It's the IP shift. It's thinking how instead of like one book, because when you publish even a really great month or a great year, it doesn't actually give you security, because as soon as you stop publishing, all of a sudden your catalog can atrophy. And if you think in terms of world and you think in terms of expansion, that IP shift is just it's a completely different approach. So an example that I like is John Wick, because John Wick is like, no one saw this coming. I don't even think the dude who wrote John Wick originally as a script saw this coming. It was called Scorn, and I think it was like 2012. So quite a long time ago, but like right when we were getting started. I mean, you're talking Yesterday's Gone season 2 era here. And he wrote that first draft in a month. That's it. It was one screenplay. And he named the protagonist off of, I believe it was his maternal grandfather, was named John Wick.
How badass the story of that is that right now? What was your grandfather's name? John fucking Wick.
Right. And the dog was supposed to be old. The character was supposed to be in his mid-60s. And the last connection to his wife, who had died, years earlier. But then, that script got bought and, kind of like re-energized, and the first film was relatively modest, but then that franchise grew from word of mouth, right? Because I mean, it was Keanu's had like 8 comebacks in his life, but this was a pretty big one, and that feature film, that first one, went to like 4 films that have now grossed over $1 billion worldwide. It's got a TV show, I think it's on Peacock, called The Continental. It's got a spinoff, which is Ballerina, which was what's her name? Ana de Armas, is that her name? That's right?
I think so. I didn't see that.
A comic book series, a video game, a theme park.
He's in Fortnite.
Attraction in Las Vegas, Fortnite, an anime prequel in development. And I don't know the details on this, but some untitled samurai western in the same like continuity universe. And of course, John Wick 5 is to the surprise of no one, also in development.
And also, there's 2 other series, Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, and I think Sisu is by the same people. That World War II old guy that just goes
That
all
looked
John
great.
Wick on everyone.
So but that all of that was possible because thinking in terms of universe and how do you take this one idea and how do you expand on it, right? So the original was just one screenplay, just a revenge story written in a month. But that became a multi-format universe, TV, comics, theme parks, all of it. And I think that is only possible because somebody at some point was like, okay, how do we exploit this IP? And us publishers aren't really like great at that. We're great at publishing. We're great at getting the next book to market. But that means that you're always doing that. You're always doing that. You're always doing that. And that treadmill, actually, we found the treadmill metaphor a little bit tired. So we opted for the bathtub, the think tank, where, you've got it's unplugged. And so no matter how much water, you've got the water running, it's just constantly draining, right? So for working writers, this is what's happening to your books. You don't know which one is John Wick. You probably wrote it 5 years ago. And the question isn't which of your books is the universe. The question is whether you've built the architecture so that any of those books could be. Well, let me address KU versus wide versus direct, because this isn't really what that is about. This isn't the same argument as going wide. Going wide is a distribution strategy. So the smarter artist method is an architecture strategy. So you can be in KU and still be building IP. You can be wide and still be stacking inventory. So the model is upstream of the channel. So you want to own the relationship. The dispatch that we were talking about, which is our weekly email where Dave takes it more seriously. Instead of just show notes, it's, this like this piece of learning. That direct email list, direct download of the book, the reader belongs to us, not Amazon. So whether that's in the fiction space or the nonfiction space, we actually want that relationship. So you think of every channel beyond that as a multiplier, not a foundation. And if you're just on the Amazon wheel, then you have to stay on the Amazon wheel. And it's really expensive to get off of that wheel. And, for us, going back to the origin story, when Danny was like, dude, you guys have to do this with a box set, and we weren't willing to do that, we had to go and ghostwrite a bunch of content to pay for our exit, because we knew that pulling the plug on our Amazon exclusivity was going to be very expensive, and it was. We weren't really like crushing it anyway, and then pulling all of that out, like we needed money just to fund the company, and so that's like we could have just doubled down and been dependent, but we would have still been dependent. At some point, we needed to take a big step back and say, how do we actually make our money independent of Amazon? And I think that it's too easy. It's like, if you're not making it, then the hope is that if you keep publishing, and Amazon eventually algorithmically recognizes you, then you'll have your success. And if you do have success, then the fear is, if I stop doing this, then I'm never going to have it, or it's going to be taken away from me.
So what's the difference between like the old way we did it, where there was a point where we released a book a year, but let's just say, somebody
You mean a book a month?
A book, a book a week we did in 2011 or 2012. They were shorter serialized books, but they were still like 20 to 40,000 words. But what's the difference between somebody that is let's just say making a book a month, and they're releasing and they're making money at it, but they're not really connected. They don't have a catalog like John Wick that's, working with each other item. What is the difference?
Well, I think you want to make sure that you're building bridges. I think you want to make sure that there are ways to expand. And there's nothing wrong, like at all, with publishing, let's say, a book a week, and you're serializing and you're trying to get those readers, you're staying algorithmically relevant. Well, that's fine. But what happens next? Like, do you have an exit plan? Do you have a plan to get off? right? So like Johnny at this point has gone all the way on the other end where he's like, I'm not playing the algorithm game. I'm not doing it. I'm going to sell on my site. I'm going to sell in person, and I'm going to really nurture those relationships. I get his emails all the time. He's got pictures of him holding a book. It's very like hands-on, and that's all about the relationship. You can find something that's in between those two things where, hey, I'm going to publish this book. It doesn't even have to be KU. It could be Patreon. You could say, okay, I'm going to serialize on Patreon. And then when I'm done with Patreon, I'm going to pull it off Patreon and put it on KU. After it has its KU run, it's going to go wide. But you want to have a strategy to it. And you want to think, hey, if this book is successful, how do I expand it? So like Michael Anderle was genius at this, in his when he built his universe, because it was all about this universe that he built and how many different stories can he tell on the different timelines in it, and that was all on KU. So what I think he got really right was the universe building and making his readers really care about this universe and all the characters in this universe. But he got trapped in KU, like, and I mean, it's hard to say trapped because I mean, when you're making millions of dollars, it doesn't really feel like much of a trap, but then it becomes hard to expand the IP. It becomes hard to like go into other avenues and other places. So I think that finding some sort of a happy medium where you're automatically thinking in terms of what's next for my story, what's next for my worlds, what's next for my universe, instead of just staying on the one track that just keeps you running. I think that is going to be, I think it already is a mistake. I think going forward, the way the market is changing and the way AI is affecting everything, I think it's just such a massive mistake to keep doing that.
So it's not really about how quickly can I write the next book. It's also, what is the next book that I should write?
Yeah, I think speed is actually irrelevant at this time because, like, doesn't matter. Like, all three of us have written very fast in our time. We're not faster than the robots, right? So we could be better than the robots, but that comes with intentionality. That comes with like, what stories can I tell that are more exciting and more expansive and more immersive, and then doubling down on those. So the Unicorn Western universe is a really good example. That's one of the reasons I wanted to go back. Like, I love that franchise because it's the first thing that Johnny and I ever wrote together, and it was just, it was us busting on you, Dave, in its original incarnation, and it was really fun. It was just it was fun to write, but there's like some really beautiful things about the way that universe is constructed, and it's always been a fun playground, and I've always seen how expansive that world could be. You could have Unicorn Western coloring books. You could have, Unicorn Western. It could be an anime series. It could be like a big budget actual
Could
live
we
action
have like
series.
My Little Pony, like horses, unicorns?
Well, My Little Ponies may or may not be in the unicorn.
No, definitely not that.
Generic.
but
Nor any
I
other
think
copyrighted characters.
I think that it's when Johnny and I started writing together again, and I already was very much in terms of, okay, well, like, fine, let's think in terms of expansive IP. And there was another property that we had flirted with before Unicorn Western that was also strong universe IP, but it was brand new. And I thought, well, why do that instead of going to something that we've already had? And Johnny has been very sensitive to my time because I basically have things in two buckets right now. Either it's either client work or it's like business building and making sure that everything is harmonized. And he said, dude, I don't want to be expensive on your time. And my response was, well, there's no way it's not expensive on my time, because like it doesn't really fit in either one of those buckets. But if it's fun, then there's a reason to do it. That's great. But but I think that if we get Unicorn Heathens to where it needs to be, then there's a lot of IP opportunity in the future. Even if Johnny is mostly just focused on it in like book form, then that's fine. Like he can be focused on it in book form, because I'm going to be focused on how else can we exploit this in other commercial ways. So I'm naturally going to be drawn to things that have that universe potential, because right now writing a standalone, it's just that's hard. It's hard to make money with a standalone. And so even if I was doing a standalone, and I have a standalone coming out later this summer, and it was written as a standalone. It has no sequels in the works or anything, but there's enough universe building potential in it that it could be. I'm not comparing it to John Wick in the potential that John Wick has or has already proven. What I'm saying is that there's enough seed potential in there. And I'm actually taking another pass at the book, even though it was written a few years ago. I'm taking another pass at the book to make sure that it has that potential before we publish it. Like, what are the things that I can...
So it'll be the next Cosmere, basically, Brandon Sanderson.
Yes. Talk about that, actually.
Well... Yeah, I was going to do the bad ad read first.
Oh yes, please do the bad ad read, Dave.
Here we go. Go ahead.
And Johnny, here's your chance to shine.
Yes, everybody remembers the, well, maybe they don't remember. They're very forgettable.
Hopefully they don't remember.
So... I'll put on my bad ad reader voice.
You're already fucking it up. You're already fucking it up.
Yeah, this is
well.
Great.
The reason that they were funny was not because the ad reads themselves were funny, although they became funny. It was how shoehorned in they were. So the minute we pause and get ready for you to talk about whatever you're talking about, which I'm not even sure. I think I have an idea. I'm like,
yeah, but
I don't know.
Also,
like
Johnny, the fact that he says we have to pause for a bad ad read,
right?
Like,
and the fact that there's like 10 minutes left of the show as well, at most, right? So like, great job, keep it up.
So you're publishing consistently, maybe even making real money, but you still feel fragile. One bad lunch, one algorithm change, and the whole thing wobbles. That's not a talent problem; it's a structural problem.
Well, it sounds like you got something to lose.
You have a lot to lose. The Smart Artist method shows you how to stop stacking inventory and start building something that compounds. Free at smarterartist.net/dispatch. You'll figure it out.
Terrible job, Dave, which also means great job.
And have you considered starting a cult? Because when I hear method, it's like you could easily build something around the method that it becomes a whole prescriptive thing.
Yeah, I think we need robes, and our own branded Kool-Aid would be good. I'm going to posit that we haven't done a very clear job of explaining what the method actually is, but I think that ties into your ad read, Dave. Like, download the book and understand the method, and it will get clearer as we talk about it. Because I don't think that this is this is just a new way of us approaching our art. And it's actually not new. This is what we have been moving toward for a very long time now. I think that we're in a position where we want to talk about it. We want to articulate what we're doing and why we're doing it. And Dave, historically, really since the beginning of our time together, has been a little bit more hands-off. Not even hands-off. I think at a distance. Like, the business stuff overwhelms him. And
eyes closed. I'm just trusting the force to guide me.
Those eyes aren't closed at all. Those eyes are wide shut. Dave in a mask, walking around with some sort of codpiece thing going on. That's what you're in for with the Smart Artist method.
That's our first bit of merch right there. Is Dave's codpiece.
Oh yeah.
So it is now. Dave is approaching this with a lot more open eyes. Like, we are going to be very publicly rebuilding our catalog and admitting what mistakes we have made and rebuilding. And we're rebuilding so that we can make more money as artists with, our IP that we've spent over 10 years creating together. There's a lot of value there that we are not tapping into. And I feel like there's a lot of people listening to this right now who've been working very hard for diminishing returns. And I would like to see them making more money for what they've already created. And I also think that there's people out there who haven't made anything on what they've created, I mean, relatively, and would like to start making money on what they create. And I've seen how straightforward it is to get results as long as you change your approach. And so, it's going to be fun to talk about these things and see our own results and see other people in the audience also get those results.
I still don't know if there's anything to lose.
Everything to lose. I've been thinking about a way to work in certain references from the old ads, but probably not a good idea.
Yeah, the only one that feels safe is nothing to lose, because the real winners, well, we're adults.
Well, we used to play fast and loose with a few ideas that had become a little too uncomfortably close to home,
just like our sci-fi discussion. Reality has made everything less fun.
It's a lot like our sci-fi discussion. Like the things that made us seemed so unrealistic we could joke about them 10 years ago are Tuesday now.
Yeah, I can't walk by a newsstand without seeing stuff about soggy biscuits. It's just become too real.
Good old soggy biscuits.
If you know what that is, you're the problem.
Just like the whole piss stuff and the feet fetish. It's not us, it's you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I was going to talk about the Brandon Sanderson thing. I think that's actually a discussion better served in the next episode, but I will talk briefly about it. Brandon Sanderson.
Are you making a cliffhanger right now?
I kind of am.
Oh, I like it, Dave. Cliffhangers are good.
But to put it succinctly, is Brandon Sanderson is like probably the pinnacle of where you are. Like if you're just firing on all cylinders with all your different stuff working together, and that is like insanely well-oiled machine what he's doing. And it's crazy.
Would you say he's the best in the world right now at that, like bridging all the media? Because I mean, he's such a juggernaut in the book space, but he has gone into many other spaces as
probably well. That I'm aware of. There could be people in other genres or maybe romance writers that are doing it better. Maybe he even lifted some ideas from them. Who knows? But all I know is in the fantasy space, he's the king, I guess, at the moment.
I mean, he had a $30 million plus Kickstarter. I mean, in addition to all the world building, and I mean, the fact that his universe is so integrated, I think, is what is impressive.
Well, did you see the original video that he did?
No, I actually didn't.
It's basically he comes out and he's like, this was like a year or two ago. Like, I got a secret to confess or whatever, and he's like, I've been working on a secret book. And for his fans, like, that's awesome because they just want more of his world. And then he's like, well, I kind of lied. I actually been working on 2. And then he just like a stack of fucking books that he's been working on secretly, and they're all going to be released through the Kickstarter. And it was like, a drop the mic moment.
Yeah.
He Beyonce the shit out of that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, all right. I want to leave people with something constructive in going with a new format of, being useful. What is something somebody could do this week that would, help push them a little bit forward?
I like that you're asking that question. I think that the number one thing, it's actually just a mindset thing. I do think in the next episode we're going to get into like a tangible exercise, and yes. Even if I'm not mistaken, we have a worksheet. Is that right, Dave?
Well, then I'm getting the fuck out of the next episode.
Yeah, we have a worksheet. We got stuff. Yeah,
but I do think that the takeaway for this episode is really just a lens shift. It's stop asking what should I publish next, and start asking what have I already built. What have I already built that could earn for me without me making anything new? Because I think it's very easy to get into that cycle, that trap of I have to create something new, I have to publish something new, I have to create something new, I have to publish something new. And both in the nonfiction side and the fiction side right now, we're looking at everything that we have and saying, what have we already created that we have not yet monetized? And there's kind of a stupid amount of that. Yeah, so essentially, if you have inventory, which a lot of people listening to this do, you have an asset, and that asset is probably underleveraged.
Johnny, do you have any last thoughts?
I'm not doing any
the direction
worksheet.
of this?
I'm not doing a worksheet. That's my last thought. We'll see. See how that works out. Dave, put the ad read about 20 minutes earlier next time. This is my advice.
We should grade this episode.
Yeah.
We should spend the whole next episode grading.
C minus.
Yeah.
But before we wrap it, this conversation give you something to think about. You will not want to live without our dispatch. That is ready to go, and that is useful. Head to the smarterartist.net/dispatch. Sign up, and you will get to read yourself the Smarter Artist Method and join our cult.
Yeah, if you're already on the list, meaning that you're used to seeing Dave's emails, which half the time end up in spam. If you're used to seeing Dave's emails after the episode, then you are already on the list and you will get the Smarter Artist Method probably before you even hear this episode. And if not, then please go to smarterartist.net/dispatch.
All right. Well, thank you for listening and joining us. And we promise we'll only get better from here.
Wait.
Wait
Wait a minute.
I want to set the bar so high that our failure just becomes a charming quirk.
Okay. All right. I'm in.
Yeah. That's how I get through life. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
They chase the spark, we own the dark. They feed the scroll, while we leave a mark. No tricks, no hacks, just the code they lack. Yeah. We stay on the rails while they fall off the track. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. We don't lay stone for spectacle, don't frame for applause. We build the boring way, with discipline and pause. They expect the penthouse view before the footing is set. A crown without calluses, a win without sweat. The craft is in the mortar, not the hunger for more. Not the facade that cracks with a hollowed out core. You want the trick, it's tedious, it's thankless, it's true. Show up with intention till the structure starts showing you. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. Yeah. Yeah. They chase vanity metrics that die at the peak. We pour the slow foundations while they sprint for the streak. We don't rent out retention to whatever blows through. We're setting corner posts for storms they never knew. We're not racing to the ribbon, we're widening the base. Let the footing fully cure before the frame locks in place. Every draft's another course, every session's a beam. We're not chasing momentum, we're constructing the dream. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we stack days. We build the house that never fades. Let them run, let them fly. Smarter artists never die. They'll throw parades while you're still setting the forms. Pop champagne and glass towers while you're bracing for storms. Some nights you wonder if the blueprints are lie, if the long game's just patience that forgot how to fly. But scars become load-bearing when the structure survives. When the fast builds crack open and the slow ones stay alive. We don't ask for permission, we don't wait to be seen. We're drafting our futures in the quiet in between. They go fast, we go far. Paper planes versus iron bars. They chase spikes, we